Thank you to our wonderful musicians, John Allen and Rickland Novus. Come, come, whoever you are welcome here. No matter your age, your size, the color of your eyes, your hair, your skin, you are welcome here. No matter your gender, whom you love, how you speak, whatever your abilities, you are welcome here. You are welcome here, whether you come with laughter in your heart or tears in your eyes, you are welcome here. No matter what you've experienced in the past, no matter what awaits you in the future, you are welcome here. Whether you believe in God all of the time, some of the time, or none of the time, you are welcome here. This is a community of open minds, loving hearts, willing hands, and you are welcome here at South Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. Good morning. My name's Luci Malin. My pronouns are she and her. Welcome to all who are gathered here with us in the sanctuary, especially those who came on purpose to hear Jamie. We also have Deb Rosenberg here for any old timers who might want to say hello at the end. We extend an especially warm welcome to those of you who are here for the first time, the second or the third time. We are also glad that you are here with us, and we look forward to getting to know you. Our worship team today is Brenda Voisard, Kathleen Luck, Stephen Carter, John Allen, Rob Carlson, our special speaker, Jamie Turnbow, and Celeste Edmonds, who will be saying a few words about the Christmas Box International, with whom we are sharing our plate donation. There's a lot happening here at South Valley, and the Happenings Weekly newsletter is your best way to stay up to date. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already via the link in the virtual order of service. The QR code is at the welcome table, as well as in the hardback songbooks. Right after the service today, the library is having a book sale, and at noon you're invited to a congregational meeting, I hope that it will be short, to vote on whether or not South Valley should join in on an amicus brief on abortion rights here in Utah. So that's going to be an important vote. At this time, we will hear from Celeste Edmonds. Where is Celeste? Who is the executive director of the Christmas Box International, and with whom we are splitting our offering for November and December. Whichever ways.
Hi, good morning. I didn't know I was coming to a professional concert. That was amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you, Luci. Thank you, Elaine, for having me. My name is Celeste. I have been with the Christmas Box International since we founded, Richard Paul Evans, our founder, and myself, over 26 years ago. I started 29 years ago as his assistant, so it's been a minute. When he wrote the little green book you've maybe heard of called The Christmas Box. And after he self-published and international publishing houses decided they really did want to publish his book, it went on to change the lives of thousands and thousands of people that we kept hearing about. And during that time, Utah was one of 9 states that was being sued, actually, by the National Center for Youth Law out of California for how we handled our abused children. We had children dying in the system. And during the time, the 2.5 years I was his personal assistant, I would often share stories that he would ask me about my own experience of being raised in child welfare. And we decided, well, he and his wife, Carrie, first of all, decided they would like to give money back that they had made from this book becoming such a big international bestseller. And at the time had been published in 14 countries in about 160 languages. And they wanted to give money back to a children's organization because the book is based on the loss of a child. But we weren't really quite sure how to do that. And during that lawsuit, ironically, and during the fact that this book was written at the same time, we decided, well, we'll hold a child welfare conference up at the University of Utah Graduate School of Social Work. We had about 160 people show up, and we talked that day about one question, which was, what is the single most important thing we can do for Utah's abused children? And after a long day of meetings and people, for whatever reason, not really liking each other in agencies that were supposed to help children, I know, who'd have thought? We realized that, like myself, kiddos were being moved from place to place. When I was in the system in the early 80s, it was a reform time. And it was way before automations. And if you were a child in care, you were in a manila file folder, basically, for those that know what that is. So there were stacks of these manila file folders. And if you weren't a very noisy kiddo, you didn't really get picked up. So like myself, many kids were placed from home to home, never seeing their caseworker again until they were picked up again and taken to another home. It was best practice at that time to place children every 6 months because we didn't want them to get attached to families. I know. Now we know it's critically important, even if you're not staying with a family, that you should attach to people and to communities like yourself and be invited to celebrate in things that are, I was reading this quote, you've got to say yes to this miracle in life as it is, and not on the condition that it follows your rules. And that's what we try to teach kids at the Christmas Box House. So we decided to build a Christmas Box House named after the book so that they could have a place to come to, and hopefully we could make a better assessment for them before they're placed. Now, many kids do get to go right into a home with a family member, or we do have a foster home that's appropriate for them to go into. But oftentimes, especially in a state like this where we have families that are large of 4, 5, 6 kids, we remove sibling groups of 4, 5, 6 kids. Mine was 3. There's no place for them to go. And one of the greatest things that I'm personally the most grateful for that we do is that we keep on average between our 3 shelters in Ogden, Moab, and Salt Lake, we keep 39 sibling groups a month together on average, almost 600 children a year that, like me and my brother and sister, would be separated into different homes and eventually adopted or emancipate from the foster care system. With your money, which we're very grateful for, because there's a lot of good charities to choose from, 10,000 in Utah to be exact. We will use the money to purchase, during this time of year, what we call the Project Elf campaign. That is our annual holiday campaign that provides Christmas for almost 2,500 children. Whether they stay at the Christmas Box House or they come in and then they get placed, those items go with them to that family. So I just want to say on behalf of the little kids and myself and our organization that we're very, very grateful to have your support, and thank you for having me here today.
So that's a wonderful change over the years that we've made, that we share and split our plate with an organization that agrees with our principles. So now I'd like to invite you to greet each other. We'll take a couple minutes to just say hello, and then we'll come back and sing our first hymn. And continue our conversations immediately after the service. We're going to start singing our first hymn. It's hymn 108 in the gray hymnal, and John will be leading you.
Feel free to stand if you'd like to sing 108. My life goes on. rejoice both far and near. How can I keep from singing to prison cell and dungeon pile? My thoughts to them are winging when friends by shame are undefiled. How can I keep from singing?
Thank you. Please stay standing for the lighting of the chalice. We invite you to stand in mind, body, or spirit as you are able. Those at home are invited. We are streaming this, so it's available for those at home. Are invited to light a chalice and share in this ritual by entering "Chalice is lit" at the name of your. You can sign up to get. We light this chalice for the warmth of love, for the light of truth, and for the energy of action. Sorry, I forgot the movements. Thank you. Someone left their phone in the bathroom. Anybody? Grandma with a baby? Okay. Okay, you may be seated. We'd like to acknowledge that as we gather this morning, we do so on the ancestral land and the current homelands of the Shoshone, Paiute, Goshute, and Ute tribes. As Unitarian Universalists, we acknowledge Let's see. As UUs, we acknowledge the complex and violent history that resulted in the stealing of these lands and the cultural and physical genocide perpetuated against its peoples at the hands and policies of white colonial settlers. We commit ourselves to undoing these harms, and we seek to authentically and with honesty engage in the necessary work that will produce justice for those disenfranchised and that promotes healing for the whole of the earth and all of its peoples. And now we have a time for the children, and Rob Carlson, our religious education director, will invite them up here. So kids, come on up, or those who are young in heart and want to come up and sit on the floor.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on down. Wow, so good to see you all this morning. All right. Hello. Hello, hello. Good morning. Was it good? Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome. So great to see all of you. Welcome. I see a lot of new faces. Good to see you. Good to meet you, Nova. Well, I'm just so glad that you all are here. I'm glad that we can all be here together. And every year around Thanksgiving, I think as I get older, Thanksgiving means something different to me as I get older. There are always things that I'm really thankful for. Could you sit here just so I can have space? Thank you. Appreciate that. There's always things that I'm thankful for, like my family and my friends. What else? What else are you thankful for? When you think of siblings, what else? Friends, family, cousins, all of the family. Fun stuff. You grateful for school? I'm so glad to hear that. Nice, that's wonderful. Me too. I'm thankful for that too. And as I get older, is that some of these things like family and friends, of course, I am always thankful for them. But I find that as I get older, I'm thankful for different things about like family, friends, and those kinds of things. A little over a year ago, I moved here to Utah from Colorado. And so around Thanksgiving now, of course, when I think about family, I think about them a little differently than I did maybe when I was younger. And I am thankful for them in different ways, because now that we're not in the same place, now that we're not living in the same home, I'm extra thankful for them because I'm thinking about them from far away. And one of the big things that I am thankful for, particularly this year, is just the ability that we all have to be able to get up in the morning and say yes to the day. Maybe there are going to be some things that happen during the day that we're not going to say yes to, right? But we at least have the opportunity that we should be thankful for every day to wake up and be able to say yes to the day. A couple of weekends ago, something really, really sad happened in Colorado, where I'm from. There's a city in Colorado Springs, and there were some young people who were killed for just being who they were. They were in a place where they were dancing and having fun, and someone decided that they had just so much hate in their heart, and they didn't know what to do with that hate, and so the only thing that they did with it was to hurt other people. And so that's just so tragic, and it makes us realize that every day when we get to wake up, and every day is a gift. Every day is a gift. And we have the opportunity every day to make someone else's life better. And it doesn't take a whole lot to do, right? Just by saying hello, just by giving someone, any kind of attention, or showing them love, showing them that you care about them. Very easy ways for not only you to hopefully have a good day, but for other people to have a good day as well. And so this year, I am thankful for each and every single one of you and your families in our community here at South Valley. And in just a little bit, we're going to go downstairs. Yeah. I wonder, though, for those of you, if you have a child that's maybe younger than like 4, our child care provider this morning isn't available, but I'm sure that we wouldn't mind Aria having him join our toddler and pre-K class. Otherwise, we of course also have our kids corner sanctuary, and in the corner in high school groups will meet downstairs right now. So good to see you all. Glad to be together. Let's go downstairs.
This community, our church, and its many ministries are made possible only by the gifts of your time, your talent, and your treasure. Many of you pledge monthly to support our work, and for this we are grateful. Your gifts help to ensure that we are able to live our values of love and justice in the world outside. Part of our ministry at South Valley includes sharing Sunday worship offerings with a charitable organization that aligns with our principles. And you just heard from Celeste Edmonds. This month, that's who we are splitting it with. As she said, it provides emergency care, shelter care, support to teens transitioning out of foster care, and holiday joy to children through the value of your gifts. Their mission is very simple. Every child deserves a childhood. Please join me in reading the offering words. They are printed in your order of service. We are this church. We are its hands, its heart, its voice. Together, we share the wealth of this community and sustain it with our gifts. We'll now accept the offering. We are so lucky to have a violin virtuoso as our music director. Yeah. And Rick is the best, what can I say? I asked them to play that in particular because it's a favorite piece of mine. There's a lovely ballet to that music that the New York City Ballet does. Anyway, for all that we have received and all that we have found the courage to give, may we truly be thankful. May these gifts be a blessing to South Valley and to Christmas Box International. Now we will take a moment for deepening, sharing our joys and sorrows. All are gathered today are invited to participate in the ritual of joys and sorrows. Those who are at home can use the chat box in the Zoom space to share your joys and sorrows. Our worship associates will gather and read those out from the pulpit after those gathered in the sanctuary have had an opportunity to approach the altar and place their stones. You are invited to approach the altar, place a stone in the water. Feel free to pause as you select your stone and gently place it in the water bowl. You are invited to practice this ritual in silence. John will share the gift of his music with us during this time. At the close of the ritual, when all who have wished to add a stone, we will add a final stone representing joys and sorrows unexpressed but still held in kindness. Those who are here now may begin to process up to the table. Please approach via the right aisle and return to your seat via the left. Thank you. Thank you. It's really powerful to stand up here and watch you all come forward and place those stones with such heartfelt emotion. I'm going to read a poem as a prelude to Jamie's talk. Jamie, as you might have gathered, is dealing with a cancer, and I'm on Facebook with her, and she is so optimistic most of the time that I just thought, gosh, more people need to know what's going on here and hear how she's facing this obstacle. Doesn't seem like a good word, but something like that. So this is a poem called The Beast of Cancer. It's by Mary Fell. The beast that can hit anyone at any time and anywhere. It can control your mind if you let it. It can spread so fast like a beast with a hunger. It will spare no one the pain. It likes to hit one with so much force that it will knock you right off your feet. Cancer is its name, and death, if you let it, is its game. There is still hope for one to grow old. Just pray for the strength to go on. There are so many who are rooting for you. Be strong, hold on, fight back, don't let it win the game. After all, you are fighting with your life, and there is so much more to live for. It will be worth the fight, you will see. The flight has just begun. Radiation will be no fun. You will lose your hair. No one will care because they know the game that cancer will play. You will be walking in the line all the time. Getting sick is the worst of it. There will be days when you wish it would just go away. Then there will be one day that you wish it would just take you and end the game. You feel as if you have no more life to fight. Hopefully, you are not alone with this beast, or it will devour you whole. The deep black loneliness, darkness, only you can feel within your body, not having the control that you are so used to. It's one hell of a game, and the beast of cancer will play with every part of your body, from your head to your toes. If you find out you just can't take it anymore, pick up the phone and call a friend or anyone who you know can help you get through this. They can help you feel a little bit better. It can help you feel better to know that you're not alone. The battle is yours to fight. All others can do is stand by you, hold your hand with their smile and love, and it can go as far as a mile. So hold your head up high, tell this beast it will not be able to win the game, and fight with everything you can. Take your stand. There are those who have fought and won against the hunger of the beast. So please, from those who love you, don't give up. Fight the fight to live, and add your name to the list of those who have fought and won. Jamie Turnbow is a warrior woman who overcomes every battle she encounters. She will talk about how she is fighting the mental anguish that comes with a serious and grim cancer diagnosis. So I invite Jamie up, and for those of you, I'm a cancer survivor, and I know there's others here who are, so I hope you take this to heart.
Good morning. No, come on. I'm a school bus driver, and that's like the weakest good morning I've ever heard. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. All right, so seriously, The Amazing Grace this morning was one of my favorite songs. And how cool is that we start this session off with that. And another thing that I saw was on the program, there's a person standing like this. And after I had my double mastectomy, I stood on top of a snowbank. And I said, thank you, God, because I am a survivor. So, first off, I want to say I haven't seen this person in like 15, 18 years, and she shows up at the airport last night, Brooke Beckham, and she came to see me today. And there's other people here that have came to see me today, and really, I don't think it's a story, but we all have stuff. So anyway, bear with me. I'm not the best public speaker, and especially reading in front of people, I get nervous. Don't we all? So anyway, I'm going to start with this. Thank you for being here, all of you. It's important to know that we all matter. Greetings and salutations. My name is Jamie Turnbow. I am 50 years old and have had a lot happen to me in all those years. First, let's talk about the beginning of life. I was adopted into a loving family of 3. My dad, mother, brother. Although I loved all of them, the meanest one, my brother, was my hero. We were 4 years apart, but what an inspiration for me to learn from. Over the years of being young, he'd torment me. As an siblings sometimes do, he'd rough me up a bit. Never did I realize his tormenting would make me a stronger person, someone strong enough to handle all that life has dealt with me. In 1991, I came out of the closet, admitting I was a lesbian. My mother, who would have preferred that I said I was going to have a baby and I'm pregnant, soon learned the truth. My father, who was brought up in a religious family, asked me, "Do you worship Satan?" All of those people worship Satan. Not understanding why I would choose the life of being gay, therapist after therapist, everyone quickly realized being gay was not a choice for me. I mean, after all, my name is Jamie Gay Turnbow, and that's my parents' fault. I would remember back in my teens, being a lesbian wasn't something I wanted to choose. Why would anyone choose a lifestyle where everyone hates you? I remember going to my first Pride Day celebration in 1991 and being invaded by neo-Nazi protesters, watching everyone surround and turn their backs to the skinheads. I learned quickly that I needed to be strong and brave. Most of my life, I've learned how to overcome fear, how to fight for what I believe in. If there was a rally or a protest or a march, I would show up alongside my friends and community members to have equal rights, to be treated fair in housing, jobs, pretty much everything anyone else has the right to. I wanted to be recognized as a human being and to be part of the norm of society. I was not okay with people thinking my chosen life was not okay for me. Being a lesbian was a sin or going against God, as so many wanted to believe. However, me believing marriage equality would happen in my lifetime, only a dream. Though here I am, 7 years, married to my legally wed wife. She is my strength and my best friend. My best wedding gift was the weekend we got married, when the Supreme Court determined that our marriage is and will be legal. I call that a miracle. Being adopted, I developed ideas in my head such as I wasn't good enough because my biological family gave me up. I wasn't lovable because my parents thought I chose a lifestyle they didn't agree with, or rather, their church didn't agree with. I pushed people away because I had an unknowing, deep belief that I was not lovable. For years, every relationship I got in, I'd accuse people of eventually leaving, even though I'm the one who drove them away. I learned the nickname Hard to Handle. My theme song from my friends was Desperado. You know the part where it says, "Let somebody love you"? I was a fighter at everything, including being loved. Everything was a challenge. Later in life, I'd realized I wasted a lot of time being angry, holding resentment, especially believing in the negative that I was not lovable. Falling in love with me was never the problem, so they said. In fact, my mother is and always has been my best friend. She's someone I can confide with, talk to, trust with my opinions, be open with, and honor our mother-daughter relationship. My father, who fell in love with me the first minute that he saw me, but of course we butted head over the year. However, the day he saw me on my blanket at the adoption agency, he picked me up and we danced. He told me he was never letting me go, and he never has, such as today when he showed up. And I texted him at 2:30 this morning saying, "Dad, please be here." And he's here. My brother, yes, he was a man who tormented me. However, if anyone ever hurt me, he was first to be my knight in shining armor. My mom's favorite saying by me when I was a kid is, "My big brother gonna beat the crap out of you." I remember one late night he drove to my house, an hour and a half in a snowstorm, over Parley's, because I told him I didn't want to live anymore. I was done with all of the challenges of life. He sat with me in my driveway for 4 hours. Afterwards, he made the trek back home in the middle of the night to be with his kids in the morning, then made the commute back down to the city for work. He loved his family more than anything, me included. He was my everything growing up. In fact, the eagle that I wear today is in honor and love of dedication to my brother that we lost to suicide in 2009. One of my greatest attributes and therapies is writing. I live out loud on Facebook, as Lucy says. On social media, I can share the hard stuff with friends and followers, then add a really positive and uplifting meme with an affirmation, a picture or a video of me ringing the Huntsman cancer bell. I'm not the best public speaker, so when Lucy asked me to give a talk about the journey, I was both honored and terrified. I've heard that a helpful anxiety tip while talking to a group of people is to imagine them in their underwear. Somehow, I'm not sure that's appropriate for church. Asking me to speak about my journey the week of the scans and immunotherapy infusion has been a reality check. I've put this story on back burner for a year now. So many of my followers have told me I need to share my story. So here I am before you today, sharing my story. Overcoming the fear, building strength, learning who I am, working on mastering that self-love, self-care I always talk about. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. By the way, chemo is working, and my scans say that the cancer is stable. Considering my diagnosis in March, this is a miracle. In 2018, I was told by my doctor, "Jamie, lose weight or you will be put on insulin for your diabetes." Over the years, I let my emotions control me enough that I became unhealthy. So I was introduced to a program where I dropped 75 pounds. Mentally, I was awakening and allowing for a change. A friend of mine gave me a movie about a kid who was reunited with his biological family. After watching this movie and missing my brother, I decided that I would go on this journey to find out who my biological family was. Thank you, Ancestry.com. In March 2019, after getting healthy, I met my biological siblings. They informed me of the intensity of cancer that had basically killed everyone in my family before the age of 60 in our bloodline. This is also when I found out my grandmother, who fought breast cancer, died at 39. My biological mother died at 41, both after fighting cancer. This not only alarmed me, but also scared the crap out of me because I figured I had to go schedule every cancer screening I could get because there was no way I was going to let cancer control me. I was already doing breast cancer screenings because my biological mother and uncle reached out to the adoption agency to let them know breast cancer ran in our family. This was my first year getting skin screening. In June 2019, on the way into the dermatologist's office, I got a call from the Women's Center at St. Mark's. They told me my screening showed something in the breast that had not been there before. And after several tests of the next couple weeks, it was discovered that I had breast cancer in both breasts. There were even more poking and prodding tests over the next few months. Ultimately, I chose to have a bilateral mastectomy. By the way, having a bra off all the time is awesome. After examination and genetic testing, they found I have a genetic mutation called Li-Fraumeni syndrome, LFS. Learning that my body has a gene missing and won't be able to fight off abnormal cell growth scared me to death. Coming to terms with this prognosis wasn't easy and sent me straight into depression. Why me? Why now? What am I supposed to learn from this? Am I cursed because I found my biological family? And is the whole family cursed because they all died of cancer? I was panicked and reached out and told my biologicals they all needed to get screening, to get tested for this gene mutation. Most didn't, but my brother Josh went to Huntsman, learned he also has the Li-Fraumeni, and discovered that he also had skin cancer on his head and shoulders at the age of 36. He enrolled in the LFS research study just as I did, has to go for annual full-body MRI scans and skin checks just as I do. They say if cancer comes and you catch it early, your chances of survival are higher. So screenings of cancer are a must. After surgery, the oncologist and research team took my breast tissue and found chemo was not needed. I was very excited to have my port out. I was always said I am terrified of chemo. When there was no evidence of disease and I didn't need treatment, I was ready to believe in miracles because the cancers were stage 0. Other than some depression, my breast cancer journey was over. I had a good recovery time, and later that fall, I was able to go back to work. There was opportunity to look forward to the future. Plans began, and winter and following spring included summer camping trips, concerts, shows, and even some travel, especially back east to visit family. After recovering, I felt like I needed a big change. I wanted to move away, erase memory of the trauma, and start over. My wife and I looked a lot at houses. We also made a bid on a house in Taylorsville, but nothing was better fitting for our needs than what we had on the outside of our home. So we decided to change what we had on the inside. One big thing that opened my eyes and got us to that decision was waking up on a January Sunday morning to a strange noise outside. When we looked out the window, there was a couple of neighbors shoveling our large driveway after it had snowed because they knew the ox in the house did not have the strength to do it. They told us that we couldn't move because we'd never have better neighbors who love us as much as they do. To this day, they continue to show up and make sure we are taken care of. Friends and family showered me with love, something I didn't think I was worthy of. My journey with my biological family and current situation told me I put negativity in my head when in turn I was always loved, never abandoned. A miracle of love and friendship. I also must add that my dog Oscar has not left my side. He watches over me and makes sure I'm okay. The only thing he asks is occasionally I throw his ball. A very small favor for so much unconditional love. I must add, all of my dogs are a very important role in my life. Dogs are also my heroes. We started our remodel in March 2020 when COVID hit, starting with Deb, which was a setback a month. The construction lasted until September 2020. It was my birthday, and although my house was still chaotic, I moved back into my bedroom, grateful to be out of the hot camper where we lived the majority of in the summer in our driveway. As everyone here is aware, COVID set everything on hold for at least a year, non-emergency medical included. I delayed my scans in 2021 until January 2022. I had started putting weight back on, figured the large lump I was feeling in my stomach had to be a hernia, as my breast cancer doctor said there was one around my belly button that had most likely been there since birth. I went back to my doctor, and she pushed on my stomach, looking for the large mass, and said, "Jamie, that's deeper than a hernia." The next day, I was scheduled for a genetic screening, and that's when they found a 4.5-inch tumor in my abdomen, next to my liver. Knowing the risk was leukemia, I knew I could get cancers. I'd already taken on 2 kinds of breast cancer and skin cancer. Living out loud on Facebook, so many prayers from all over started coming in. Between January and March, when I had surgery to remove the tumor, it had grown to about 6 inches. Also, when they opened me up, they found close to a dozen more tiny masses and pulled them out. The masses were not visible on the MRI scans, so the doctors are certain there's more cancer not showing up on scans. They took my uterus, ovaries, and tubes as there was polyps, and I'm high risk for ovarian cancer. After surgery, the oncologist suggested to me that I will need chemotherapy. There was a 40% chance that chemotherapy would even extend my life. The tumor is a rare form of cancer, leiomyosarcoma, a rare yet aggressive cancer, one that research is still trying to figure out. Estimate of 1 in a million are diagnosed with every year. Treatment is exploratory. I asked God, why couldn't I have those winnings with the lottery instead of getting cancer? Something you should know is that I always swore I'd never do chemo. To me, it was a death sentence. I went into a deep spiral. I lost hope. I took my mom on a trip for a week, falling deeper and deeper into depression. All I could think about was death. My attitude was, why do chemo when there is such a low chance of it even working? The oncologist told me that if I did nothing, I would have 2 to 5 years left. I told my wife I wanted to end my life on my own terms. I even bought a motorcycle to drive it off a cliff. Don't tell my parents that. Everyone wanted me to at least try chemotherapy, but again, I was scared to death of going through chemo. We called the mental health team up at Huntsman. At that point, Deb and my mom and my best friend Jen took shifts with me around the clock until they had a bed for me at Huntsman up at the U. I spent 10 days there, getting counseling, starting on meds for depression and anxiety, and learning everybody else there was also fighting to survive life. When I left, I understood that getting treatment was not only about me, but about those that love me and who have hope for me. Maybe there's a miracle in that, taking a chance. I'll be honest, chemo sucks, but the anxiety before it was worse than dealing with somehow losing all my hair. Sucked, as my hair was my pride and joy. Except I didn't miss the hair on my legs and having to shave. I was fatigued. My infusion dates are Thursday, and by Sunday, I'm a permanent fixture in my lazy chair that my dad bought me. Smells are horrible, and food tastes bland. There's nothing exciting about going through chemo. I will add that immunotherapy was added to the chemo. Like I said, treatment is experimental. I suggested we try chemo and immunotherapy and see what happened. My oncologist, eager to give it a try since immunotherapy is so new to the cancer world, got Truda to sponsor their drug since my insurance wouldn't pay for it. My insurance said immunotherapy was too experimental, and there was no evidence it would work. Much to our surprise, it was a success. Another miracle. The theme this month is finding the miraculous. I'm still hoping there is one, or many. This gene mutation has passed on to me by my biological mother's family. My brother has it, and his wife was worried because they were about to start having children. Because we found each other, modern science was able to provide a miracle. With in vitro fertilization and more than a dozen embryos produced, there were 2 that didn't have this cancer-fighting gene mutation. Close to a month ago, their healthy baby boy was born. I will have cancer inside of me until I die. But cancer may not be what I die from. Needing regular scans and infusions. However, I am still here. I'm still complaining about my story. I'm still making people laugh. And I also am spreading the inspiration that no matter what we go through, we can survive. And we can become stronger from it. What's more miraculous than that? Maybe I am the miracle. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. That was wonderful. We are going to sing hymn 354, We Laugh, We Cry, and we're going to do the first and the last verse.
We sing our song.
Well, actually, I'm going to read a poem first. If you want to stay standing, you may. Just Jamie is so inspiring, and this is one of the most inspiring poems I know. Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may tread me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons, like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Do you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own yard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still like air I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. From a past that's rooted in pain I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bring the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hopes of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. And now you may rise as you are willing. And we can repeat the words in your order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the warmth of love, the light of truth, the energy of action. We hold each other in our hearts until we meet again. And I'm going to make a little change and go back to our 30 years ago closing words rather than the ones that we've been using. This is by Mark Bellatini. Go in peace, live simply, gently, at home in yourselves, act justly, speak justly, remember the depth of your own compassion, forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness. Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers, and stint not your hand of charity. Practice forbearance. Speak the truth or speak not. Take care of your bodies as they are a good gift. Crave peace for all people in the world, beginning with yourselves, and go as you go with the dream of that peace alive in your heart. And then as a postlude, we're all going to sing This Little Light of Mine. And this is in honor of Jamie Turnbow.
118.
I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it